Okay, hello. I'm here with Maria Hassan
Garcia.
Garcia from North Carolina, United States. She's here doing a semester through the SELF program.
Dope.
DELF. And DELF, what is DELF?
Just taught him French.
Just learning in French. So she's basically here doing an exchange program for one semester and in order to improve her French language skills. Um, okay, so we'll get started. Maria, what apps did you start using in France that you didn't use before in order to improve language or learn more about French culture?
So when I first got to France, I wasn't familiar with public transportation. So I looked up and I researched a little bit and I downloaded one app called City Mapper. And it basically tells you um, different routes to get to a certain destination. So it gives you walking or even biking. It gives you how long it would take you by metro and which lines to take, of course, or if you wanted to take by bus or train. And I also, really recently, yesterday actually, I downloaded an app called iTranslate, um, which facilitates communication with somebody who speaks a different language. So you type your own text in your language, and then it translates into the other language, and then that's it.
Cool. And can you meet people on this app, or is it strictly translation?
I think it's strictly translation.
Okay, cool. And what was the last app you downloaded or bought in order to meet uh, French people online or physically? Or have you?
I haven't.
You haven't?
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
damn. Okay. Yeah, I think you already answered this question. What was the last app you installed since being here?
Yeah, I think it was iTranslate.
I translate. Damn, you weren't using enough apps.
Let me check.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about it, there's one I'm actually going to give you. I don't care if it's on camera or not. There's HelloTalk, which is really effective. So what HelloTalk is it's basically like Tinder, but for language learning. What is Tinder? Is that app that you meet people?
Dating, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I mean,
well,
it's kind of
like
dating,
that,
but
yeah.
you can meet.
But no, this isn't for dating. It's strictly for improving language.
Oh, I also downloaded TripIt.
TripIt? What's TripIt?
Well, all TripIt really does is like keep your like travel information together. So
Okay, but it doesn't give you information about language or culture.
No.
No. Okay. Use it.
We might have to start
Specifically
this
for this.
interview over.
No, it's okay. No, we'll keep the footage. Do we use bad language? Oh, okay, good. So you installed, the last app you used was a GPS, basically, a GPS map? A GPS app, pardon? Okay. Well, since we're talking about it then, HelloTalk is very good. Basically, HelloTalk is, and I used it actually, on the foreign inference, so basically I can give, feedback on it. HelloTalk is an app that I use in order to meet French people that live within the app. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. Go on.
So basically, HelloTalk is an app that I started using once I arrived here, and it was an app I only started using in France that allows me to meet people either online or in person, where we can do a language exchange. And I was meeting people who spoke Arabic in order to exchange, Arabic. Sorry, Arabic and in order to have a language exchange between Arabic and English, or French and English. And it was very effective. I met with people, and we would do a half hour in English, and then a half hour in French. The only problem I found with this app is that people weren't willing to meet in person. And for me, I think it's pivotal that you meet someone in person. That way, you can communicate with them, listen to the language,
Yeah.
be in an actual French setting. Whereas online chat is limited. Your exchange, it's kind of writing and reading. So
and it's
that's
not as
the only,
spontaneous because you have time to like plan out what you're saying.
Exactly, and I think it's quite safe as long as you're cautious, and very effective if people are willing to meet. Other than that, I don't think it's. And that's the thing that bothers me with these apps. And mostly, most French people are open to meeting, but some of them are kind of closed and no one's strictly chatting. And another thing that annoys me is that I notice that people use these apps as a kind of dating app. They're looking to meet people, whereas for me, it was strictly language acquisition.
Yeah.
So what else can we talk?
There was a program like called
Hmm?
Franglish,
Oh.
and it was like once a week. You meet at like a bar or something, and then you do like 7 minutes in English and then 7 minutes in French, and then you switch partners.
Oh, okay, cool.
I haven't tried it, but
Oh, okay. That's. Oh, did you see it on a kind of a poster?
yeah,
in
like
Lyon
a flyer.
Yeah. I think I saw that too. That was last year. What are the? Sorry. What changes have you noticed in your level of the French language since you arrived in France?
I think I'm definitely understanding more than I did when I first came, because when I first came, I was like, "What are you saying?" And I needed the person to speak really slow because I hadn't practiced at all over the summer and I hadn't had any exposure to the language. But now that I've been here for almost 6 weeks, I want to say, um, I definitely know a lot more of the everyday language, and I can express myself better now.
Okay, cool. And do you feel that online, for example, social networking or any online applications helped you in improving your French? Do you feel like, for example, has Facebook helped you in any way? Has, I don't know, have you been using Skype? Or
Oh, Snapchat actually.
Okay, Snapchat.
Which you wouldn't think, but actually, when I came here about a week or so later, there's like news articles on there, um, and now they're all in French. Like all my stories are in French now instead of English, so I can read through those, and it's just. I noticed that there are like similar topics, but then there are also things that are different that you wouldn't read about in the United States, for example.
And what about apps? For example, there are news apps, right? Have you downloaded any news apps in French? Would you consider doing that? Okay. And how do you think? Would it be easy? Would you find it difficult? What is your, for example, your level in reading French? What would you say?
Like
Do you know the European system, like from A1 to C2?
No.
So there's basically A1, A2 is beginner.
Okay.
You have B1 and B2 is intermediate, and then C1, C2 is fluent
Okay. I'd probably say B1, maybe B2.
B2. Okay. And so both in listening, reading, and speaking? Or do you feel like
I would say they're different.
Okay.
Speaking would probably be A2, B1, and then reading would be maybe B2, and then listening would be B2.
And have any of your professors suggested any apps, like any of your language professors, anything online? Have you done any workshops online involving apps? Or, no? None of them have proposed anything. So your studies have been strictly in class, on paper?
Yeah, I mean, usually what I do is I take my notes in French, and then if there's something I don't understand, I go home and I try to translate it, and if there's something I don't understand, then I just go online and translate it.
Okay, cool. And do you feel like learning online using these apps would be effective, or are you against?
I think they would be helpful because they're, on your phone at the moment that you usually need it.
And would you consider, for example, out of the three most, for example, out of between Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, do you think that any of these could be effective in improving?
I would say Facebook and Twitter. And Instagram too, just to get more of a visual.
I don't know if I already asked you this, but do you use Facebook now in France to connect with French people? Or have you added French people? Do you communicate in English? Do you communicate in French?
I have added French people. My car's going in reverse. I have added French people, usually from classes.
Yeah.
Usually so we can communicate like about either homework assignments or scheduling and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry, I was going to ask a question, but I was distracted by, what was I going to ask? It's such a good question. No, it's not your fault. Do you find, I don't know, my experience here was I was quite frustrated when I got here because the moment they found out I was English, they wanted to speak in English. And for me, like, I feel like we're in France, we should speak in French. Have you had the same experience? Do you find that people are, kind of more willing to, they prefer to speak in English with you when you meet them?
I don't know. I think I sometimes close myself off, like not on purpose, but just because I don't want them to get frustrated. So I start off kind of telling them like I don't speak a lot of French. So if they do speak English, they'll speak to me in English, and if not, we'll just go through it in French. But I have a friend who you're friends with, Alicia. She actually doesn't like English, but she likes to talk to me in Spanish. And So a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
times it's easy.
Sorry, Maria is bilingual. She speaks Spanish and English fluently.
So a lot of times we'll speak Spanish a lot, and I'll give her a lot of feedback, and then sometimes I have to kind of force myself to say, well, let's speak French, because that's, essentially what I'm here for, is to learn more French, and
Nice.
so then we'll do that.
And sorry, I didn't ask this, but did you, for example, meet anyone on Facebook in France? Through specifically through Facebook?
No.
No? Okay. Are you open to meeting people online to have a language exchange? Or do you prefer, for example, if you do download Hello Talk, will you be open to meeting people in person, or will you be using the app just to chat, here and there?
No, I think if I downloaded it, I would do it to meet, because essentially I think that'll give you more exposure to the language, and that's really what I'm looking for, is to be able to like loosen my tongue and be able to speak it more.
What else? I think that's a bit. That's really good.
11.
Maria? From Mexico. No, I'm just joking. She's from the United States, born and raised. Okay.
Actually, I was born in Colombia.
Oh, sorry.
But
This is actually quite entertaining. I like it.